to the Spurs News Podcast, your home for all things Tottenham Hotspur. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Spurs News Podcast. I am Sam. Today is episode 282 of our show, yet to be titled. I normally come up with something during the episode. Joining me to help me to decide on that and much more, it's Stefan.
Good day. How we doing, mate? You alright?
Yeah, you're being Aussie again.
I know, I keep doing it. It's habit now. It was like 2 seasons. We've not had a manager for so long that I'm having to work my way out of it.
Well, I mean, that's fair, I guess. Anyway, how's life? How's tricks? All well?
Yeah, not too horrendous, I don't think.
That's a very British response, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like,
Like you ask an American, they're like, oh, we're great. You ask like an Aussie, oh, Sam, mate. You ask a Brit, oh, well, it's shit. It's not that shit.
It could be more shit. Yeah.
Could be worse. I mean, it's bad, but, it could be worse.
I still have all 10 fingers, so could be worse.
Something kind of quintessential about that. But yeah, this is Spurs news. We've got 2 games to talk about. We've got a game to look ahead to, another international break, and as promised, the loan summary, which will be in this show. So let's start with Tottenham Hotspur 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. How do you feel about that game, dear boy?
Looking at the table, not a great result at all.
Nope.
Knowing that for some reason Wolves are one of those teams that do seem to turn it on at our stadium. However, you would still have expected us to be able to do more than scoring a very late winner.
Apologies to interrupt,
not
but did they though? Like, I've seen this everywhere, like, oh, Wolves versus Tottenham, and like people are posting pictures of peak Barcelona and stuff. They weren't, though. No,
we just weren't very good. They did, I would say, from what I've seen online, they upped their performances, but they have, again, from what you read online, each performance has been getting better. They won in the Cup, didn't they, the week before?
Yeah.
In so each week they're getting better, and for me, Wolves are one of those teams that kind of always hang around the bottom of the table but never quite go down. But you would expect us to be doing better.
I mean, they've been pretty typical of a mid-table team for quite a long time, but
it's the last couple of seasons, I think. Since he who cannot be named left.
Him
over there. Since he left, they've not hit the same standards.
Yeah, okay. For me, there's sort of two parts to it. On last week's show, I said about the continuation of tests. Like, you kind of... I know every game, technically, is the next test and stuff like that, but there's certain things, certain markers that I have in my mind, like trying to end our run before an international break. We've got another chance to do that this coming weekend, but I'm not high hopes for that. But that's we'll park that for the minute. But there's these little things, and I said last week, Wolves at home, they're bottom, pointless. In sense of winning points this season, not
such a pointless club.
Yeah, not as in they exist and they're pointless, but in this kind of way of everything in that speaks to Tottenham losing. Like, everything about that just says Dr. Tottenham, which has become the new Spursy. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, Dr. Tottenham is the new Spurs. No, last season it was Crystal Palace hadn't won a game, beat us. Ipswich hadn't won a game, beat us.
Yeah.
Ipswich hadn't scored 2 goals. Was it Leicester or Ipswich hadn't scored 2 goals in a game? I think it was Leicester. Hadn't scored 2 goals in a game for like 20 odd games. Scored 2 against us.
The Leicester one was horrific because they lost 6 on the bounce.
Yeah.
hadn't scored a goal, had not scored 2 in the same game all season, scored 2 against us in 1, and then went on this exact same run the other side. So it was literally us they beat. But yeah, right. So to me, it was okay, this is another test. Let's see what this team has different about them. Now, you can argue, and I've seen many people with Thomas Frank as their avatar saying we'd lost that game last season. Therefore, we've improved. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take that for a moment and say, okay, yeah, we would have lost that game in the league last season. So, all right.
We lost most of the games in the league last season.
Yeah. So I'm sort
your point?
of kind of like, yeah, I do get what you're saying, but there is this weird thing in sport, but in life, I think, where people tend to forget greater context. And it happens very, very quickly. Like, people, like last season, if you look, I saw, and I wanted to find this before we were recording, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And then some jackass rang me for work that had me talking. You know, people expect me to work. It's awful. And so I got stuck, and I didn't get time to find it. But someone wrote down this amazing kind of breakdown of statistics from last season. Not around win-losses and stuff like that, but around the number of players and positions that were able to be played 2 games in a row.
Okay.
And basically the only players in our squad in the Premier League, so forget all the cups and Europa League, etc., but consecutively in the league, the person who played the most times in the same position, try and guess who it was. And I'm going to tell you now, it wasn't our keeper.
Porro.
Because he missed a massive 2 and a bit months.
Yeah, was it Porro?
Of injury. Pedro Porro, yes. Pedro
he was
Porro
an absolute machine last season.
He was, yeah. Now, the next one is the fun one. So yeah, I want to give him props because a lot of people are slagging him off at the moment for his form. Personally, I think the guy's needing rotation. That's just my personal opinion.
And it drives me crazy the fact that it does look like he needs a bit of rotation.
Yeah.
And we have got such a good replacement. Like a rotation option there sitting for him.
Who's currently rotating the left side.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense. Udog is fighting his way back from injury. Perhaps that's going to gradually transition as Davis also returns from injury. But anyway, that's the injuries. Kind of funny. But who was second?
Yeah. Second on that list.
So the player that played the most consecutive games in the same position. And when I say it, you're going to go, oh yeah, shit, probably. But it was, and it's funny. It's Archie Gray.
I was going to say, I'm looking at it and I'm like, Archie Gray at centre-back, and he played there quite a lot.
Yeah, at centre-back. So, a
I was thinking
midfielder...
between him and Bergvall, yeah.
Yeah, a midfielder, 18 years old, first season in the Premier League, was thrown in at the deep end, playing centre-back, and was our second most consecutive player in that role, which is alien to him in the league, brand new to the league. And yet people are still of this mindset that last season everything was tactical, everything was motivational, everything was to blame. Now, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of instances you can point and assign blame to Ange, the coaching, all of that, that's fine. But it seems to be completely forgotten that when people are doing these comparisons, most of the time that side was a hodgepodge put together mess.
Oh, more often than not, yeah.
And then you then look to the end of the season when those players did start to come back. They clearly, and there are now books written about this and interviews galore, when we can't do anything about the league. But if we win the Europa League, not only do we have a trophy, which this club craves, we will be in the Champions League.
Yeah.
So we are going to put everything into that.
Let's qualify. We can't get 4th place in the league,
Yep.
but
We are not going down, and we are not climbing the table. Like, it's just not going to happen. Look at it. We fucked it. It's dead. But
yep.
we can win the Europa League. So if you look at the results then, from that moment where our team were back and we were able to field players consecutively, so Romero and Van de Ven played every Europa League game from, I don't know what it was, quarter-final, first leg, I think. They played all of them.
Yeah.
They didn't play together in the league hardly in that time,
No.
but they were together for the Europa League.
Which is kind of shows. Oh, look, okay, they're obviously
Yeah.
aiming for that. Yeah.
So that is, I think it was 6 games. So 2 for the quarter-final, 2 for the semi-final. So 5 games. Apologies. Would it shock you to learn that the goal difference is identical to Thomas Frank's opening games as Spurs boss?
That would.
It is.
Yeah, that is surprising.
Goals scored, goals conceded. So when Ange Postecoglou had access to his first choice team, and they were focused on games they were focused on, we didn't like it or we didn't know it back then, but they were just, the Premier League was like, look, we just got to get through this. And therefore, you now you know it, you can see what it was.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Once it all kind of came out that he had said, right, the league's, it was like in January,
Yeah.
the league's done.
Yeah.
We
Well, it
can
was
win
after-
that, though. You look at it
After
back
they
now.
lost in the League Cup semi-final. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was after that they basically looked at it and went, our players are starting to come back. We can't do this, but we could. We could win the Europa League. And that was it. The training changed, their focus towards games changed, everything. Now, they achieved it, so they were right. If they lost in that final or lost in the semi-final or something, then
I reckon he would have been sacked on the spot.
would have been sacked on the spot, and we as all would have just been like, what a dickhead. Because that would have been the reality. It would have been a terrible, terrible season.
Yeah.
If
You've
that had
put
happened.
everything into this and you fucked it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could all go, loads of injuries, stuff like that, but as those players were coming back, it still got fucked up. But it didn't. It worked. We lifted a trophy, and everything has kind of snowballed since then.
Yeah.
Now, I am just going to say I got a bit of a cold, so apologies if I do splutter at any point, and just keep yourself away from the headphones.
It's all right. I've put disinfectant on the headset. It's fine.
Good man. Turn up your antivirus, everybody. But yeah, so like I was saying, it is a mad comparison that under Ange Postecoglou, when he had the players available to him at that run-in in those games, the Europa League, it's identical to the Thomas Frank start statistically. Style of play, obviously very different, but the goals scored, goals conceded, it's there. It's laid out all to see. My concern with Thomas Frank was, forget the whole kind of, I look at him, I just don't like him, because that's something that's silly, and I've said it from the start, I know it's dumb, I just got to park it. But my concern was, never managed in Europe, never managed a squad over a 4 competition campaign, therefore I'm a bit nervous, he's going to be able to do that. Obviously no one has until they have, and you don't know how they're going to do, but that was just me, as I'm a bit nervous about that. And the other thing was, there seems to be like a hyperfixation on the kind of style of football that I personally don't really like. Plenty of people do.
Yeah.
I'm not a big defend, counter, set piece. I think it's boring. I watch football to be entertained.
Yeah.
It might be effective, and in some games it can be brilliantly effective. Like the European Super Cup against PSG. PSG are such an incredible dominate the ball team. They're probably the best team on the planet right now for that. The idea that we would go and try and beat them at their own game is stupid. We do not have the players to do that.
No.
So the adaptability to go, okay, we're going to soak this up and we're going to hit them hard, nearly worked. And I 100% felt, okay, if that's what Thomas Frank gives us, that's a really good sign to start with. Losing that game on penalties, geez, you can lose on penalties to anyone at any time. You know, that's just a lottery.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like, okay, that's quite encouraging. That's, if you field a team, you set them up to play against a side like that, and you're able to get a result, which in 90 minutes, you know, a draw, we got a Champions League game against them at some point. If we did that and got a draw in 90 minutes, we'd all be really happy.
Yeah, but I'd say so.
But
like, if we get to that Champions League game and we come out with a point, boom, happy days.
But landing this plane, why are we setting up the same way to play Wolves at home?
Yeah, it's... So when Thomas Frank came in, he gave the interview that he had to... The first thing he wanted to do was fix the defensive ability.
Yeah, which I've just stated he hasn't. It's the exact same.
It is the exact same. So therefore, it's so difficult. It really is, because we should be going against those teams and dominating them, because without being disrespectful to teams like Bournemouth, Wolves, we should be going in there dominating games.
It's the home aspect of it, which I think is really important as well.
Yeah, so I am very careful in what I say, because I was happy for Thomas Frank to come in. Yeah. This was a manager that I was interested in joining us.
Yep.
I think tactically he's very good. I think, having heard him talk on podcasts and stuff about football, I think he has a very good footballing brain. Yep. Players have always spoken strongly about his man management, so I was happy to see him come in and was kind of excited to see what he did with the squad.
Yep.
So I am also finding it very difficult to watch matches like the Wolves game, where I jumped off the sofa and celebrated like a 90th minute equaliser. And then kind of sat down and went, what just happened? Like, you're kind of sitting back down going, wait a minute.
Yeah, no, I got to be honest with you, mate. I mean, I celebrated that, and Palhinha celebrated it, and everyone should celebrate. The celebration police can fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, we were losing that game. You know, we were getting nothing from that game. We played really, really badly. We got every right to celebrate that moment of magic that gave us a point. Afterwards, 100%. Afterwards, removed from it, we can look at that and go, that really isn't very good.
No, and I know friend of the podcast, Coach Ali, will fight anyone that has a go about him taking his shirt off.
Oh, yeah. But there's... yes. He's a hulking reminder of my inadequacies.
Yeah, I looked at that and went, oh yeah, I still need to lose weight.
To be honest with you, as a man looking on at him, I now completely understand why referees book them. Like, no, you're not allowed to show women how attractive you are. That's bang out of order for all us average-looking guys.
We don't need to see that. Thank you very much.
Dad bods are the reason that players get booked. That's got to be the only reason. But look, it's difficult, because me and you sort of went back and forth on this last night during the Bodo Glimt game, which we'll go on to.
Yes.
You look at my critique as basically being biased because I don't like Thomas Frank. I look at what I'm saying is I'm actually really, really trying not to be, because I'm aware, because I voiced that opinion early, I'm now so conscious of the fact whatever I say, people roll their eyes. I'm like so conscious of that. Like, oh God, it just sounds like I'm slating him because I don't like him.
Yeah.
So I am uber conscious of that when I'm talking about things. So I try the best of my ability to always be like, this doesn't feel good, this isn't good, like this doesn't look good. And what I said last night, which kind of triggered the conversation, was it genuinely feels to me like our only attacking threat comes from long throws, set pieces, or an individual bit of brilliance. That's kind of how it feels. Like if it's not that, there isn't a kind of cohesive pattern to go forward. And so stepping into that Bodo Glimt game, there was actually a moment in that game which really caught my attention, and the commentators noticed it. And that was, we won the ball on the edge of our box, and the ball went out, and I think it was when Johnson was on, and Johnson took it into their half. Johnson looked up, and there was no one in the box. Richie was breaking his neck to get there, but he'd been, I think it was a corner we defended, and he defends the near post.
Yes.
So he was trying to get there. I think one other player, I'm not sure who it was also riding, but Johnson had to slow up so much, they were back, defended, the move ended. It was a bit frustrating.
Yeah.
We were on the attack with a free kick. The ball went in, they headed it clear. In that transition, all of our players were back in a structure, like a back four, then another four. And the commentators even went like, wow, like, you know, Tottenham basically like elastic bands just snapped back into their defensive shape there really quickly. And it hit me. I was like, yeah, that is literally clearly what they're working on. Like, coaching wise must just be that, because when we took the ball forward, no one was doing fuck all. There was no movement. There was no one was doing anything. We lost the ball, and it was like, shit, everyone behind it, and just whoomph. Now, you can credit that, but at the same time, that was kind of like a real, oh, shit, yeah, okay. So that feeling I had of, like, if it's not a set piece or anything like that, which is only a feeling, like, I don't know the stats, it just feels that is our attacking threat, and it's probably not. But I will say our top goal scorer this season is own goal. Which
that in a stat in itself is just like, oh gosh.
Well, it's never a good marker for your team generating a lot of chances, is it? Or worse, not a good marker for a striker in your team for taking chances.
Yeah, there's been a couple where you look at it and you go, okay, so we are getting into the correct positions that mean defenders are having to make a mistake.
Yeah.
But then as I say that, I'm like, my God, even I am realising that I am stretching to find something good about that, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but, you know, our players are getting in all the right positions and they're putting the balls in, and that's causing them to make own goals. And I'm like, however, at the same time, I would like my strikers to get a cross in front of them and be tapping it home anyway.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's difficult because I want it to be so good. And I look at the players we've got, and I'm like, the players we have should be good enough, and are good enough.
Mate, please don't misunderstand me, and I think this is the best way I can put this to everyone. I didn't want Pochettino. I was dead against his appointment. I was 100% thought it was stupid, it was moronic, and I think I've told this story before. I read a blog post by a fellow Tottenham fan who broke down why he felt Pochettino would be good because of the work he'd done at Southampton.
Yep.
And I read that and I was like, okay, all right, let's give it a go. And during those initial months or anything like that, the results were crap. Performances weren't great, but there was one thing that I did keep seeing was like this pattern in structure. I could see, okay, he wants his fullbacks to do this. Okay, I can see that. I can see how this is progressing.
Yeah.
Now, with Thomas Frank and everything like that, there will come a point where I'm hoping I'll see that as well. And there's no part of me that wants him to fail because I dislike him or didn't want him. Every part of me wants him to be a massive success and us win something this season, the backup last season, because I cannot describe to people how much fun I've had with the Warra Trophy joke, the Gooners.
Yeah.
It's been, like, unbelievable. And if we win something 2 seasons in a row and they don't win anything again, they'll sack that manager. They really will. And that's very funny to me. But, like, I just genuinely, at the moment, I'm watching these games, and it's really key as well. And I know people say this a lot. I watch every minute of every game because I do the updates on our Facebook page. In 5, 6, 7, 8, best part of 10 seasons, I've missed a handful of games where I've not watched them minute to minute.
Yeah.
And so when I talk about things and I like to judge, I think I'm talking, and of course it's just my opinion, but I am talking from quite an extensive library of what I've seen and everything like that, like every minute of every week from certain players. Like, Zabi's come in and he looks lost. And he looks like his confidence is being drained.
And that is terrifying me because that young lad is a phenomenal talent.
He certainly looks it.
He is one of those players that I genuinely look at and go, how the hell have we got him? Like, he is such a good talent. And then he's out on the left wing and not really getting the ball to do much with. No. And I'm like, oh, not again.
Well, see, when I first saw that, I looked at that and thought to myself, I'm not completely adverse to that, because I remember Luka Modric being played on the left. And the prevailing wisdom was he was too small, he was going to get bullied if he got moved into the middle. And Luka Modric said once, because Harry Redknapp did move him in the middle, and Harry Redknapp, of course, takes full credit for his entire career.
As he's now 40 years old, scoring goals for AC Milan.
A legend. But Luka basically says that allowed him to kind of get the pace of the league. And so when I saw Zabi playing out there, I was like, okay, he's a slight guy. The Premier League is different to German league without a shadow of a doubt. You only got to look at one of our academy players going over there and dominating the league for goals. I mean, jeez.
Was it the quickest anyone's ever scored 100 goals for the club?
Yeah, and that's just some random bloke from our academy. I mean, come on. It's just ridiculous, the levels. Farmers League. Oh, that joke's not going to go old. So I looked at it, I thought, okay, that's not bad. But then I'm watching it and he looks lost. He looks like... And then the one time I've seen him play in the 10 role and look very effective was that fight back against Brighton.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, so we went 2-0 down to Brighton.
Yeah.
Battled back to 2-2. We went 1-0 down to Wolves at home, and in the last minute equalised to make it 1-1. We were 2-0 down to Bodo Glimt. 2-2.
Yeah.
I am pleased that this squad has a fight amongst it, has a fight in it. I am delighted that they have that kind of mentality that they're going to keep going and fight and do that. Just a couple of things.
Yep.
One, if Ange Postecoglou conceded 5 goals in 3 games, people would be slagging off the defence, left, right and centre.
Yeah.
I've seen no one slagging off the defence under Thomas Frank. In fact, I'm seeing it complimented. How much better it is under him.
Yeah, I've seen
that's
this.
Odd. Yeah. That's an odd thing. That shows a certain bias and a certain narrative that was created. 2, why is it we don't seem to be able to score unless they score?
It seems to be we're very good at comebacks, but actually, can we try and just win a game? Like the first few games of the season, clean sheets, was looking good, scoring goals, and then the Bournemouth game happened, and now it's kind of like, well, wait a minute. Did he see something in that Bournemouth game he didn't like, and now he's tried to change something, and it's backfired?
The Premier League is not only the best league because it has some of the best players, the physicality, and the fact that any team can beat any team on its day. It's also got some of the best coaches, best analysis, best managers there is in the game.
Yeah.
And they will analyse a team. They will analyse every team, how they work, how they shape, and they will find holes. Ange Postecoglou, what was it, 9-10 games? We looked unstoppable.
And then suddenly, every team against us, as soon as they won the ball back, their strikers peeled to left or right because the fullbacks were inverted, and they just whacked an Alderweireld style long ball. That's what every team did and pushed up the pitch because they knew it was a constant outball against us. Yeah.
And we never had a Palhinha who would cover. I mean, I said it so many times last season. You need a disciplined DM because when Basuma was good, he did that and we looked good. But unfortunately, in most games, Basuma was sort of, I don't know, picking his favourite cloud. He just watching around. I genuinely don't know what he was doing, but when he was good, he did that, and we looked a really great side. Unfortunately, he was not always doing that, and we looked awful. But this brings me back to this, which is start the season doing that really well, really structured, defensively good, scoring goals. You're looking at it, you're going, okay, this is a solid foundation.
2-0 versus Man City, 3-0 versus West Ham.
Yeah.
We beat Burnley, was it 3-0 as well?
So, like, the foundation is there, and you're feeling like, okay, this is really good. But the 1-0 Bournemouth loss came straight after that Man City game, and I said it at the time. Yeah. There's no point beating Man City at Man City if you're then going to lose at home to Bournemouth. And again, that's no disrespect to Bournemouth, who are a very good side.
Yeah.
But we're at home, and this is where I come back to again, which is the Wolves game. Why are we not playing Xavi in a 10? Why are we not going 4-2-3-1 against them? Why are we not looking to dominate the ball and beat them? Why are we letting them have the ball? They were so devoid of confidence, Wolves, in the league, so fragile, and yet we just surrendered the ball to them, like gave them confidence. And their goal was crappy and scrappy, but after that, they looked like they were all 10 foot tall because they believed.
They thought, that's it, we're going to do this. Yeah.
If we come out of that game, all guns firing, early, fast, we probably would have won that game like 4 or 5-0 because their heads would have gone because they were just like, oh shit, here we go again. But we didn't. We came out passive, just stood there, let them have the ball, let them play around. It was crap, man. It was really bad. And I was delighted we didn't lose. So delighted we picked up an equaliser, but in the cold light of day, it's not great. Now, by the glint, I'm going to be really interested to see the results of teams going there this season. Really interested because
last season, before we beat them, they had taken some big scalps.
Yeah. They've beaten some really good sides there. And on commentary last night, it's like, they've lost here once in 2025, and that was to Tottenham. We were the only team that stopped them from scoring in 2025. And by the way, that was under Ange, not Thomas Frank.
Yeah. And that was a hell of a performance. Like, we went there and we didn't really know quite what to expect, and it was a hell of a performance we put in.
It was to me, it was like an old-fashioned European performance. You go away, you give them fuck all, and you hit them hard when you can, and you score, and then you just don't give them anything. Do you know what I mean? It was like old-fashioned away goals rules. Yeah. I loved it. There was everything about that I enjoyed. It shocked me because I genuinely was dreading it, but we went there and really beat them well. last night, I mean, Bentaker gave away a penalty like a frigging moron. That was awful. Like, what was he thinking?
I don't know what the thought process went through his head was when he went in. As soon as he went to ground, I'm instantly going, "Oh, that's bad."
Yeah,
like you kind of, as soon as he went to ground, you saw what was about to happen.
Yeah, it was maddening, and luckily their striker decided he didn't like someone in the crowd and wanted to hit them rather than score.
Well, he had in the last round he had a penalty, and he missed it. And in this round he had a penalty, and instead of going for I'm just going to hit this straight down the middle, and make sure it's on target and I score, he went, "Oh, I'm Johnny Wilkinson." Ugh.
He put some effort into it to get that up and over the bar. Yeah, that's
that high over the bar. That was really quite. Oh, okay.
So like to me, it's like you look at that and there was nothing about our performance which felt good.
No.
Like we equalised, and it was kind of scrap. I mean, Porro's cross to Van de Ven's goal was quality. Like that was a real moment of quality, and it showed.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's like
we know he can put that ball in. I mean,
I'm going to sound like such an asshole now, but put it in the mixer, get a big lad's head on it. Yay! What a team we are. Do you know what I mean? I know how I sound, but it's like, and then we equalise with this crap. I do want to talk about this though, actually, because this is interesting. I put this in our group chat and want to know because you're more football smart than me. Why the fuck were they checking an offside for an own goal?
Now, this has me confused because they spent, I think it was about 3 minutes.
3 minutes, yeah.
Looking at VAR.
Yep.
To then not give the goal to Richie but give it as an own goal. And I'm like, so if Richie had been offside, and they had disallowed the goal for Richie being offside, would it have been his goal, or would it have been an own goal but disallowed because a player was interacting with play? Like, what is the?
So is that why it took so long? Because they were baffled. Like
we've gone to VAR and they're sat there going, "Shit, why? Fuck, what have we missed? Why have they come to us?" Right.
Because they then showed the lines. Like, see, he was onside, and I'm like, but it doesn't make any fucking difference.
No.
Like, UEFA had marked it as an own goal whilst the VAR check was going on. So the fourth officials got it down as an own goal. Well, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, what is the debate?
Why is this a thing?
And if they'd said, we're checking because if he's offside and he's interfering with play, we're going to rule the goal out, I'd be like, you bastards, okay, at least I know what's going on. But they didn't. They checked it for offside, and that's why they showed us the lines afterwards. So it made no sense to me. Anyone smarter, message in. Yeah, I know we got a couple of referees that listen. Please do get in touch, because
we're all sat here going,
we got another international break coming, so we'll be off again next week, because, nothing else to talk about. But
can we just say, is it just me, or are the international breaks at the moment just like constant?
Yeah, you have one in September just as the season starts, and then one in October. And
pain in the arse.
Yeah, I'm not I don't know. I guess if you're a big international football fan, you're loving it, but not for me. It aggravates me.
I don't have any kind of joy. Is it a case of so obviously we are both English, therefore supporting England and all that sort of thing. Is it just a case of the English team at the moment is not giving us any real joy, so therefore we are looking at that and going, ugh.
In your lifetime,
yes,
how much joy have you derived from the England football team?
There was this one small.
There was this one time at Bandcamp, yeah.
There was one small spell back in the 2018 sort of time. where that the World Cup run we had in 2018 with Southgate.
Okay.
That was like, I genuinely enjoyed. You know, we had Dele Alli and Dyer and stuff like that in the team.
Yeah.
That I enjoyed. We were playing good football, and it was like, wow, okay, Southgate's going to take us somewhere. It then kind of plateaued out a bit, and I think it was the Euros. I was well behind the England squad in the Euros because it was the home Euros. That was incredible.
Mate, it's not that I'm not behind them. I'm just saying how much joy
I enjoyed watching that as well because I was so invested, and I think it was after that we came out of that period, and then it was suddenly, wait a minute.
I thought you were supporting Italy in that final. Throwing you under the bus again.
Don't start that. But it was
Italy,
after that when it became more apparent that it didn't actually matter how you were playing for your club.
Yeah.
If you were the right face, you were going to get in the squad.
Yeah.
That's when I then started going, wait a minute.
Well, anyway, Stefano, let's not talk about that anymore. Leeds away. So lunchtime kickoff against a newly promoted team on the eve of an international break. How do you feel about this game?
Surely nothing can go wrong here, can it?
I agree. Total walkover for us.
The problem as well is that the newly promoted teams are actually doing rather well this season.
Playing well, yeah, and because they're playing smart, they've come up and they're doing what we're doing, defending.
Yeah, like we've seen before, like last season, the teams that came up, and even the season before that, the teams came up, and it was like, right, we played. I mean, look at Southampton last season. We played this sexy possession football in the Championship, and we won with loads of goals and points. So we'll do the same this season, and it'll be fantastic.
Yeah, and teams just ripped them a new one.
And teams ripped a new one. This year, they've come up and they've gone, okay, we are going to have to play dirty for the first 6 months.
Dirty.
You know? just grind out results. Forget about playing beautiful football. We just need to get the points on the board.
Yeah.
And then once the points are on the board, that's when we'll start looking at developing some sort of culture in the Premiership.
Speaking of teams forgoing beautiful football and just trying to get results, your beloved West Ham have a new manager.
We don't talk about no.
How do you feel?
I tell you what, that has been for me fantastic on social media. I put in our WhatsApp group. So when West Ham played on Monday night and it was his first game in charge.
Yeah, how'd they get on?
I didn't watch it. Was it 1-1?
Genuinely don't know.
I think they drew. It was Everton. They drew 1-1.
Okay.
And Gerard Bowen scored, I believe, that player who Polynesian Dan famously said would never make it in the Premiership.
He did say that.
He did?
Yep.
I personally would sign him, but that's not the point.
You're an idiot. Yep.
So when they're playing, I have just got West Ham fans on social media. Not people I'm
all your
personally
friends,
following, but just seeing it on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, all your family, yep, correct.
Yeah. And they're all there going, oh, get this guy out. What is the point? We don't want Nuno. This is the ambition the club are showing. And they're all kind of really ripping into the fact that they've signed him as manager.
Yeah.
And I said, God, underneath nearly every single one of their comments was a Forest fan going, yeah, but can we have him back?
Oh.
It was like, wow. I've never seen such a polar opposite of just, every single one. Oh, this guy's not the guy. Where's the ambition underneath it? Well, you got us into Europe. Can we have him back?
Where's the ambition from a West Ham fan, eh?
It was just, he got us into Europe. Can we have him back?
Well, good luck with that, everyone.
It was like, oh. I unfortunately think, minus his spell with us, I do think he is a good coach. He's shown that at Forest. He showed it at Wolves, and I have a feeling that he will actually do quite well at West Ham.
Well, that'll make you happy, mate. At least one of your teams will be doing well.
Christ, yeah, because United are really fucking awful at the moment. It's brilliant to watch.
Steering into the joke. Nice. Right, it's time for this.
Now it's time for the loan update.
So I said once a month. Ironically, this has gone into the first of the next month, but, that's how shit goes. I would do an update of our players on loan. However, you can get a weekly update in the form of a blog post by our newbie admin. Newbie, every Monday, compiles a stats review, minutes played, what they did with those minutes, etc. And it all goes on our website, which is all the W's, spursnews.co.uk. It's all completely free. You have to tick a little box to say you're 18 because, we say bad words. But other than that, it's not like one of those websites where the minute you load it, you get ads popping in your face. It's just a resource tool for us. But you can check that out every Monday. We post it on the Facebook page, the link.
And I know he listens, so I hate the fact I'm saying this, but he's quite good.
Yeah, he's doing all right, new boy. Yeah, he's all right.
I know he's going to listen to it and he's going to have an ego for this, but yeah, he's doing quite well.
He used to listen. I don't know if he still does. I think because he's part of the team now and he's got to know us more, he realises what assholes we are, really. And he's like, he's not a fan anymore. So New Boy does that every week, but once a month. So that is a kind of, there's a real statistical aspect to that, which is quite good. The minutes they're getting, what they've done with those minutes, and he does give like a one-line view of what he thinks is going on during that time. From my point of view, with this kind of summary, I'm basically, this being the first one of the season, going to talk through where people are.
Yep.
And I'm going to talk through what I think is going on so far, whether I think it's going well or not. So, Alfie Dorrington, a central defender from our academy, would be classed as club trained, by the way, for us in the near future. He is on loan once again to the Scottish Premier League with Aberdeen. He joined them in January last year, had a very successful loan, helped them to lift the Scottish Cup, and he's there again now. He is getting minutes. I'd probably say they're kind of rotating him a bit up there with a few of their other players, but he's a player there on loan. He is doing well when he's playing. Obviously, as a club, we'd ideally like him, I think, to be playing every minute of every game, but he is getting a lot of minutes. He is well regarded up there. The coaching's sort of in the element we want, so that's good.
I always find it a good sign when a club has a player on loan and then wants him back again.
That's funny you should say that. Mm-hmm. Ashley Phillips. Ashley Phillips is on loan at Stoke. Ashley Phillips was on loan at Stoke last season. Did very well. He started slowly, progressed really well, was one of their best players by the end. Very solid, central defender, championship level. He's very good. He's hardly playing. They're really not playing him much at all. And he was joined on loan there by Jamie Donnelly, who dominated League One the season before, cannot get off the bench in the Championship. So that loan, for me, needs to be reviewed ASAP.
Yeah, you don't want to be sending players out on loan for them to just sit on a bench. They might as well be playing for the under-21s and training with the senior squad at our place.
Well, they need to be playing, like Jamie Donnelly really needs, like, he has the ability he really does to make it. And so, even if it's a case of right in January you're going back to League One, then he needs that. It's aggravating because if he was playing for a side in the Championship and he was getting minutes, wasn't getting assists, wasn't getting goals, and then he was dropped, you could kind of understand it. But he's not even been given a run. He's not been given a start. So it's frustrating. Manor Solomon, he's on loan at Villarreal. Long-term future for this player appears to be loans until he leaves. He's actually doing really well. Villarreal, very happy with him. I wouldn't be surprised if a deal is done for him to join them permanently, to be honest.
He's scoring goals, getting assists.
Yeah. Another player up in Scotland is Mikey Moore, and it's proven to be a disaster of a loan. I'm not blaming the player. I believe this is a case of Rangers are just absolutely friggin' shocking right now.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Oh, they are having a season to forget already. I can't see the manager lasting very long.
No, and he really shouldn't. Because it's Mikey, every time I've seen Rangers on TV, I've put it on the watch. Awful. I would say if things aren't changed there again in January, bring him home, because that's not a good experience for him at all. Will Lancashire is currently on loan at Oxford and doing very well. He's playing consistently, getting good minutes. He's also been able to get on the score sheet on a regular basis. He is showing an ability at that level, first team level, which is really important. You know, to score, to get assists, etc. is really important, and so that's really impressive, and everyone should keep an eye on that. Another player who's having his first loan is Tyrese Hall, and he's getting goals.
Good lad.
Yeah. Keep an eye on him. He's at Notts County. He actually got one yesterday. A forgotten player, Alejo Veliz. He's back at Rosario Central. I'm told by several people that's going to be made permanent, so there's no real point in discussing.
It's a shame. I thought that kid had a real good attitude and potential, but it just doesn't seem to have settled in the UK.
Coaching, managerial changes, all sorts. I just think he got caught up in the mix. George Abbott is on loan at Wickham. I really like George. Like, as a player, I really, really rate him. I had a message from a Tottenham Wickham fan who just sort of said, like, I think he's our best player. Like, he's really class. Like, will he ever make it at Spurs? It's so ridiculously difficult to say, but I really like him. To me, he reminds me a bit of Ryan Mason in the sense of he isn't going to be Harry Kane, but he's also a player that can be in your squad and be a level and will always give everything.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to bring through club-trained, homegrown players,
that
ain't a bad thing to have. Yeah, don't you agree?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. You need, as much as it's great to have a squad full of like these absolute superstars, you need those players that are just going to go out and give you 110% and play for the shirt every week.
You do. Damola Ajayi, on loan at Doncaster, famously got to play against Tottenham in the League Cup, which I still don't agree with. I thought that was a terrible decision. He didn't do much, got subbed. Probably the best result for him.
Terry,
and then
whatever it is he calls it.
Yeah, he got about an hour against Tottenham, and then wasn't even in the matchday squad for the next game. So that's not great.
Oh no, not good.
Our young South Korean hopeful, he's on loan at Portsmouth. He's having a difficult run there. I don't think he's getting a massive amount of game time. I get the impression he's struggling a little bit. This is where the club needs to be smart. They need to be supporting him, because he's undoubtedly a talented lad. At QPR, when he was closer to the club, he was still able to be at Hotspur Way, around people in London, and he did really well in that short loan he had there. being further away, he seems to be struggling a little bit. So the club need to be supporting him, and hopefully they'll do that, and hopefully he'll show his quality for them, because he definitely has it. You know, it's not just a signing there for publicity. He genuinely is a very talented young player. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's worth keeping an eye on, because loans can change so quickly. Like, he could come off the bench, smash in a belter winner. His confidence goes through the roof and goes, do you know what I mean? It's like
suddenly he's like, yep, get me out there, let me play every week.
Suddenly the loan becomes like, oh my God, this guy's a world beater. So keep an eye on that. Alfie Devine at Preston. The strangest ass thing in the world for me is this, that Alfie Devine's playing brilliantly at Preston, but they have an option to buy him, and I'm still at a loss on that.
I'm kind of hoping they don't take the option. He does really well and comes back. However, let's be honest, if he does really well, he ain't going to come back.
No. A player who's not technically on loan, but has a pre-contract agreement to sign us, is Mason Melia, a striker in Ireland. He'll join when he turns 18. Yes. He currently plays for St Patrick's Athletic. He's a goal machine. This is a kid who at 17 is playing for the Ireland under-21 side and scoring. He is someone to watch. He broke previous youngest scoring records that were set initially by a guy called Robbie Keane.
I recognise that guy.
Were then broken by another young player called Troy Parrott, and have now been broken by Mason Melia. Remember the name, keep an eye out for him. And I'm going to finish with the player who part of me still thinks should be in our squad, and that's Luka Vuskovic.
The machine.
Luka is on loan at Hamburg in Germany, who I have just realised in our blog is called Hamburger. Newbie.
Idea.
He's brilliant. He is defending masterfully. He's strong. He is a friggin' unit. And at 18 years old, he is showing just how crap that league is, that he's probably the best defender in it. No. He's a threat from set pieces, which is the only way we can score goals, so we should have kept him. Just look at Van der Ven last night.
In fairness to him, he's got a hell of a strike on him as well, from what I've seen.
He does, yeah. Like, this kid, he's a real talent. I'm not the biggest fan of Johan Lang as a director of football. I don't think that role suits him. As a scout for young talent, he is proving to be unmatched. Like, you look at Berdeval, Vuskovic, Mason Melia over in Ireland, like, the players that we are signing and lining up and bringing in are on another level. This kid is special, and everyone keep an eye. Like, every week, check the Bundesliga results, check out his performances. Or if you don't fancy doing all that legwork, be sure to check our blog post every Monday. Okay, that's enough advertising for 1 week.
Well done.
So that's it. We will not be back next week because it's an international break again. And no one wants to hear me cry about us losing the Leeds, because I'll be despondent to say the least. You can keep up with all Tottenham related news, of course, across all our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, because I still call it that, Instagram with lovely Laura, who is a beautiful woman and I love her very much. And that is it. That is our show. Mate, have you got any messages of hope for us heading into that Leeds game?
No. Yeah, of course we're going to win. Obviously. I am hoping for a good performance. I'm hoping to see Simmons put into a more central role.
Go on, mate. Score prediction. Us versus Leeds. Go for it.
3-1.
To
us.
3-1 Tottenham. You heard it here first, everybody. Until we speak again, you all take care.
And come on, you Spurs.
Thank you for listening to the Spurs News Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Stay up to date with all things Tottenham. Follow us on social media. All links are in the podcast description.